Welcome back, ladies and gentle dudes. Today we're doing another bar rescue. We got a wacky episode today. Today we'll be watching Bar Rescue Thugs and Mugs. Jon's crew gets caught in the middle of a massive brawl at a New York sports bar when customers discover they're being served cheap booze at premium prices.
Turn it down for what?
This is one of the craziest bars I've seen, and I'm so surprised Jon Taffer didn't leave by the end of this episode. I feel like the stuff that happens in this episode is some of the worst that's happened to him. At least like all out, like it just keeps happening and happening and happening, and it blows my mind that he still remodels his place. Like, people get assaulted this episode, Jon Taffer gets lied to, the people do illegal things, there's so much shit that goes wrong in this episode, and on top of it, they're all drinking too, and Jon Taffer usually gets all on top of them for drinking, but, you know, he was fine with it here, I guess. But yeah, this episode just really surprised me.
You want me to walk out of here?
Undisputed is a sports bar and grill in Yonkers, New York City. In 2009, former boxer Miguel Torres partnered up with his longtime friend and boxing teammate Brian O'Shea to open up Undisputed Sports Bar and Grill. I don't like the name at all. I think it's a really weird name. I think they could have honestly done much better with the name.
Brian and I have been hustlers since we little kids.
They put 50 grand into the bar each to get the bar. And at first, their boxing theme did draw in a lot of customers.
We're making $50,000 a month.
Brian parties whether he's the owner or not. He doesn't care.
So they were making decent money, but Brian threw most of that away when he gives free shots to all of his friends at all of his parties.
You want a shot?
At the end of the day, it's our money that's coming out. Like, me, I go crazy, and you like, yeah.
I guess over time, too, the place got way less secure. Like, they just started losing security.
Standards and security dropped.
So then all their customers just left and went to the other bars.
This is the hood bar.
I got a feeling Jon Taffer's not gonna like that. He's gonna try to make sure no one from the hood comes to this bar. We learned that they're $120,000 in debt and losing $3,500 a month. Fucking wild. That's a lot to lose every month. And then Jon Taffer pulls up to Undisputed with Russell Davis and Aaron McCargo.
This is Undisputed.
And we learn that the boys only have enough money to keep this bar going for a couple more weeks. Which, that has to be so scary to know that.
That's the trouble that they're in.
And then our three spies for this episode is Ray, Brian, and Matt.
Perfect guys to give me their opinions on this bar.
Yeah, there are little rascals going in on the inside of this episode. One of them, though, orders a Manhattan, and Russell notices that their vermouth is just sitting there on the counter. God, you know, they're such sticklers for the vermouth.
It's one of those things, you pop it open, that you have to have it within a week.
Yeah, but I guess according to him, if once you open it, you have about a week to use it, and then you have to get rid of it, it only lasts about a week, because it's like fermented wine, basically.
It's spoiled wine.
And then some of the guys there complain about their beer being warm, and Russell blames it on their old school draft systems, and then they show them having to put ice into the tubs to keep their beer cold, for fuck's sake. I mean, we may have to buy 6 to 7 bags of ice a day, but hey, it keeps our beer cold.
Which means it's warm between the keg and the tapper, so it's not good.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, and the beer may go bad because of it a little bit, but you know, a little bad beers never hurt anybody. Then they watch Marcos the chef, and while he's doing shit in the kitchen, he leaves the fridge open for like 5 fucking minutes.
Close the door.
That's one of the biggest no-nos. In a small kitchen with that much heat building up.
And then Aaron says if he saw this happening in his restaurant, the person would be fired instantly. And when he says that too, I think it was at like the 2-minute mark, like it didn't even reach 5 minutes yet, and he was already like, fuck this guy. But then, like I was saying, they continue to watch him, and at this point it's left open for 5 minutes, and then he's just ruined pretty much all the food there now. Because how warm the place is now, it's heating up the food a little bit.
Can you imagine how much the temperature's risen in that box?
15, 20 degrees easily.
And then he goes to make someone's basket of wings, and he thinks it's just a great idea. Let me cook every single wing we have at the same time right now.
You can't cook that many wings at once.
Yeah, let him try. So, and then, of course, it's our spy's wings. One of them goes to eat it. He hates it instantly, and he sends it back saying some of it's raw.
Some of them are cooked, but some of them aren't.
Probably because the dildo in the back cooked 87 wings at the same time. Maybe that's why.
You can't cook that many wings at once.
And then this entire time, too, Brian, one of the owners, is just drunk at the end of the bar, just staring at people.
Got Brian sitting at the end of the bar, just drinking beer and staring at people.
And then a waiter is bringing out some more wings for people, bumps into Brian, spills some wings on the floor, and Brian gets all pissy about it.
It's my fault that he bumped into me, right? That's my fault that he bumped into me.
Ugh, he's one of those drunks where just like, he's so argumentative, and then will refuse to admit that he's wrong, so he's just an annoying little cock the whole time, basically. Up until like the end of the episode, he's just like a drunk. And then Miguel and Brian start arguing in front of the customers and employees.
Talk like always. Talk. No words.
Miguel is mad because all Brian does is drink while he's just trying to run this place. But Brian does claim that he's running the bar, even though he's just there drinking.
I'm running the bar.
Why are you running the bar? Drinking the bar. You ain't running the bar.
And then a lady gets involved. I don't know if she works here or not, and a beer ends up breaking, and it's just more of an awkward argument happening. It just gets so messy.
The only undisputed part of this bar is that it sucks.
God, you knew that was coming. If they have a weird fucking name like that they could throw into a pun being like, that's how this place sucks, you know they're gonna do that shit. And then Jon, Russell, and Aaron now enter the bar. Jon sends Aaron into the back to the kitchen, and Russell over to the bar while he goes and finds the owners.
Am I disturbing you?
And then Jon asks Brian about his partner Miguel and asks him, how much do you hate him? Basically being like, I've just seen you be a complete dick this whole night, so why do you hate this guy so much?
How much do you hate him? Because I've never seen anybody be a bigger asshole than you.
Damn. That's a big asshole. He goes in to tell him that Miguel is trying, and all he's doing here is sitting and drinking, and then like beating up on Miguel, basically.
You sound like him right now. You talking.
See? That's the idiot he is.
Whatever you think, Taffer.
Meanwhile, Russell's talking to a bartender, and he finds out their vermouth has been out for months.
It's been here for months.
Then he asks her if they handle their liquor legally, and she responds with,
Honestly, no.
that's not the answer you needed to give him. But to be honest, I guess if she lied, the fucker would find out instantly.
Honestly, no.
She tells him that they get cheap liquor and they put it into their premium bottles.
That's the type of thing that gets your liquor license taken away.
And then now the waitress takes Russell downstairs to look at their whole thing of backstock for their liquor so he can see all the cheap liquor that's in there now. Meanwhile, Aaron's yelling at the chef for having all kinds of meat in his fridge that's looking partially cooked and he's serving it to people.
Salmonella, you can kill somebody. John!
Oh, fuck, he's yelling for Daddy John. Daddy John's gonna come and spank somebody. So then Jon walks in there and he ends up showing him all the ground beef and tells him that the fridge was at 60 degrees. Which, that seems kind of hot for a fridge.
This should be 40 degrees. All of this is garbage.
Jesus Christ, Jon Taffer turned into a fucking goblin there. Just, this is horrible! Just throwing shit all over like a gorilla. And then he makes them get rid of everything and they pull all the plates back so no one gets sick. Then Russell comes in and brings Jon downstairs.
Let's go downstairs.
Russell calls out Miguel and Brian down there and asks them which one of you, if not both, is switching the alcohol. And they both just straight up deny it.
Neither one of them.
Don't you bull me. I've had 2 of your employees tell me that you did. I've seen the bottles.
Yo, Russell, chill. That dude's a lunatic. There's a couple times this episode where he just starts yelling at people and shit, and it gets very weird. And Jon Taffer just kind of watches, and I think he kind of gets off on it.
I tasted the liquor.
And then Brian tells him to show him where the cheap liquor is because he swears he didn't do it.
Show me that I'll pour cheap liquor.
And then they instantly cut to his funnel. Like, it looked like he left everything out being like, they'll never find this. And they found it instantly.
That's a damn lie. You know I didn't do it.
Here's your funnel.
A smart man knows when he's busted.
Yeah, but Brian's not a smart man. And then Jon threatens to walk out here if they don't admit that they replaced the alcohol.
You better think about your answer or I'm gonna walk out of here.
And then Jon Taffer asks him one last time, did you replace the liquor?
Yeah, I know.
You're a thief.
Why are you lying and doing all that weird shit before if you knew in the room over was all the evidence, and then you go to the room and you're like, I don't know, I can still get out of this. It wasn't me. Fucking dildo. But then Jon yells at both of them and he asks them, how much integrity do you guys even have left?
Obviously none.
Shame on you. I'm out of here.
Jon Taffer's had enough. He needs to get out of here for the night and clear his head. Probably go, have a hooker blow him or something. Jon Taffer gets out of here to get a hooker.
I'm out of here.
And then this part is very weird. So Jon Taffer leaves, and the crew's still staying there filming and shit. And then a whole brawl happens. Camera guys are getting shoved. You can hear someone outside talking about jumping somebody, probably Brian inside, because that seems to be where the fight starts.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely insane.
Then we hear a guy shout to Brian, hey, B, you gonna buy me a drink before I leave or what?
Shut the up. How about that?
Oof. Brian, I don't know if that's the right response there when you're the owner of the place. And then everybody starts freaking out. They're acting like a fight's happening, but we just don't really get to see. It's all just kind of a chaotic mess.
Cops, for the cops, for the cops.
And then one of the waitresses is so scared, she darts downstairs and like, fuck this, I gotta get out of here.
I'm going downstairs, I'm sorry.
And then now we go back outside and people are fighting, the crew's being chased. I think one of them gets punched in the face too. Fuck, I guess the security went on a smoke break.
When your boys are here, it's always like this, cuz.
That is just wild. That was so chaotic and weird. It's that exact moment that I can't believe Jon Taffer stuck around and redid this place. Can't believe it. And then the next day, the bar rescue crew have their own safety meeting, and a few of the crew don't feel comfortable being at the bar without protection.
I'd like to introduce Lieutenant Hodges.
And now, at this moment, I thought they were going to have police there, like, at all times to watch the place. I don't know if they were outside or what, but they were just kind of like, yeah, we're going to make sure that doesn't happen, okay? You guys are going to be safe, I promise. And then that's kind of it.
We're not going to allow it to happen again.
Last night, my crew got assaulted.
That's not funny, but the way he fucking says that is hilarious.
Last night, my crew got assaulted.
And then now Jon has a meeting with the bar crew to talk about them having safety as well, and just making sure the bar's a safe place. And then Jon talks to Tanya, Miguel's wife, and she says that Brian isn't doing his part as the owner, which we could tell, but it's nice to have someone else confirm it. And then instantly they get into a huge screaming match.
You know! You're telling me, how do you know?
And then everyone's just screaming at each other, and Jon Taffer's just kind of sitting there watching the whole thing until he's had enough.
Shut the up and listen.
He calls out Brian for ripping people off and risking their lives in an unsafe bar. And then he brings out Jenny, a past employee, and she told him how violent the bar can get, and she's actually the reason he knows about the bar.
She's my whistleblower.
We learned that the night she was there, customers complained about their drink not being that strong, probably because the liquor was replaced, and when she turned around, they fucking chucked their drink at her, and it seemed like a whole nother brawl broke out, and it scared the shit out of her.
And that was it, mayhem.
She said nothing was done about it, there was no security that night, and there were no bosses around at all.
Anything could happen in this bar. I thought I was gonna die.
That's fucking terrifying. Nobody should go through that. If you're gonna have a place like that, you need to have security. That has to be a priority. But it's so weird too. Brian's response to this is like, yo, this ain't Wisconsin, dog. It's different out here, okay?
John, this isn't Wisconsin when you're going to the Milwaukee Brewery and you're...
As if that makes sense. Like, oh, this isn't Wisconsin. They can throw drinks at the waitresses. Okay.
I grew up 2 miles from here. Don't tell me.
And then Jon asks as a show of hands who here feels safe in the bar, and of course nobody raises their hand.
Watch this.
And then Jon shows them the footage of his crew being attacked.
They didn't deserve that.
You put the people that I care about most at risk.
We learned too at this point that Brian has a family as well to take care of. He has 2 sons, 10 and 15 years old, and he has nothing to fall back on if this bar fails. And then Jon does kind of call him out here, being like, don't you want to be a better example for your kids? Like, you're just here drunk every night fighting people. And he's kind of like, yeah, I guess I do.
Don't you want to be a better example for the people around you?
I definitely do.
And then Jon makes Miguel promise that they will never open the bar again if it doesn't have a security guard or a manager at the bar at all times.
Does she deserve to come back?
And then surprisingly, they offer Jenny her job back and she takes it. I'm so surprised by that.
I didn't do the best I could do to keep us safe.
And then this is kind of where Brian starts turning around. He becomes less and less of a drunk and more kind of involved. And he does still argue with Miguel throughout the episode, but it's less messy than it was before. And then now Jon brings in Russell and Aaron to discuss the future of the bar with everybody, and then he kind of gives them all their jobs. First up though is Aaron in the kitchen with Marcos. He's going to train him how to cook wings properly so he doesn't cook 87 in one basket, and then he also teaches him how to make his own sauce with it too.
You want to make sexy food here?
Fuck yeah, dude, we love sexy food. And then meanwhile, Russell's teaching everybody how to make martinis and shit like that.
Good looking cocktail.
I'll show you a good looking cocktail. And then later Jon pulls over Miguel and Brian to have a little discussion with them about safety and just introducing them to the new security crew.
I want to make sure this bar is safe.
If you can't tell, I think that whole opening scared the shit out of them, and it's turned into how do we keep this bar safe. It's stress test time though.
Welcome to Undisputed.
Undisputed.
And in the beginning, things are going okay, but they're pretty slow in the kitchen, and they're pretty slow on drinks, and it just kind of gets worse as the night goes on.
These guys are getting swamped.
Oh boy, and then Brian brings out an order of wings trying to help, and he brings it to the wrong fucking table, and it just causes such a mess going on.
Guys, you got to get your table numbers together.
And then what's one thing you would never want to suck out of a straw?
So I just sucked up a piece of glass through my straw.
If that happened to me, I could never use a straw again a day in my life. I would be afraid that would happen every single time. That's one of the scariest things. What if that shot down her throat and fucking killed her? Jesus.
You got glass in the ice bin.
And then Jon informs them that they have glass in the ice bins, so then they have to clear out the whole tray and refill it.
Get those wells filled.
And then they don't have enough ice for that either, so they send someone to the store to get more ice.
The store is closed for ice.
Ah, fuck. What, is there one store in this area for you to get ice? There's just one? Yeah, fuck, the ice store is closed. Can't go. Sorry.
They can't possibly succeed no matter how hard they try.
That's a wild statement. I think it just means because, like, their systems are all fucked up and everyone's trained in a weird way and they can't keep their own beer cold. Just everything's set up to fail. That if they're all trying their best, they just couldn't even succeed. And then really the only positive thing about this stress test was that their security works fine. They learned that's great. So they got that down.
I'm going to take the staff on a little field trip. Get them motivated.
Of course, he brings them to a boxing ring so he could see them all box and shit, but we only get to see Miguel and Brian box.
They're exhausted, but they're still fighting because they won't give up.
Jon tells them that they need to support each other in the bar how they do in the ring, which is weird because in the ring they beat the shit out of each other, so maybe he wants them to beat each other up at the bar. And then this does seem to get kind of all their anger out, and they say like they're going to continue doing this as like a little friendly thing to get their anger out whenever they're mad at each other, which at that point maybe you guys just shouldn't be business partners or friends if that's what you got to do, but you know, whatever works.
Now we got a place that when we get mad at each other, we could come down to and get a couple of rounds in.
So now we're back at the bar, and Aaron's showing what his new idea is for the restaurant for a meal, and he brings them a quesadilla burger, which sounds pretty fucking tasty.
I think it's gonna go good with those cocktails out there.
Remodel time, and I just want to say again, it's fucking crazy he's remodeling this bar. What the fuck? His camera guy got punched in the face.
Last night, my crew got assaulted.
And yet he still remodels his place. It's fucking crazy. But then Jon does decide to completely redo the entrance of the place. Just, you know, he needs to get a whole new vibe so it doesn't bring people in that want to beat up people.
To make a statement to women that it's safe inside.
And then I don't know if they do this in other episodes or not, but it was fun to see Brian and Miguel there looking at the blueprints and getting them plan on what the bar was going to be renovated like. That was kind of fun. Relaunch time now, baby. Jon Taffer is going to show everybody their new bar now. Their new name is SOYO. It's a very simple sign out front with yellow font, but I think it looks pretty nice. And then the doorway is completely repainted yellow and blue. I love that. I think that looks really good.
I love the name, SOYO.
And then they all head inside to look at the rest of the bar.
It is sexy.
Inside, it's wild how different it looks. Like, everything's kind of in the same position, but everything's upgraded and looks so much better. Better lighting, a better bar, better chairs. Everything just looks so much nicer.
I feel like $1 million right now.
Everyone's loving the new bar, and you can just really see how much, like, they brighten up and they really want to be in this place, and they're proud of it now.
Gonna be here for a long time.
I sure fucking hope so, Brian, because Jon Taffer put a lot into this place. Jon got them a new draft beer system so they can actually keep their beer cold. Then he tells them he put $90,000 in just refrigeration for this place. Fucking crazy. These guys would have never had any of this on their own. Never.
I put over $90,000 into just refrigeration.
That includes like everything in the bar and the kitchen together too. It's time for the relaunch though. Now we get to see how they run this place as SOYO.
Welcome to SOYO.
And everything's actually going surprisingly well. There's no arguments going on. Everyone's loving the food. They're making drinks good and quickly.
Night went awesome. I saw a whole new side of Brian and Miguel.
We have built a sexy bar.
The more and more I see of that guy, he's just a weirdo. And then Jon says his goodbyes to Brian and Miguel, and he tells them he's proud of them compared to where they were at the beginning of this episode, which I completely agree. Brian did a whole 180 this episode.
Guys, here's your bar. I'm done.
Here's your bar. Fuck off, I'm out of here. We got an update though on Soho. We got their 6 weeks later little update.
SOYO is the hottest place in Yonkers.
And that's kind of really all they tell us. Brian and Miguel are working good as partners, and everything seems to be as well as it was before. It's working good for them.
Jon Taffer turned this place around 180 degrees.
But so then now we got the real update, the years later update. A month after the rescue, sales dropped 60%, and then the police were called to this place numerous times after the rescue as well. They were called more than 60 times in less than a year, and a number of felony arrests were made. Jesus Christ. Undisputed Sports Bar and Grill / SOYO closed in March of 2018. They closed after sales declined and regular fines for public nuisances due to disturbances at the bar. That's wild. There were so many crazy things going on at the bar that they started getting fined for it. The bar was listed for sale for $150,000 in January of 2016 and was sold 2 years later. And yeah, that's the end of Thugs with Mugs. That was a pretty wild episode of Bar Rescue. I can't believe people fought each other, cameraman got hit, fucking girl sucked up ice through her straw. Crazy. Fucking crazy. And yet Jon Taffer is like, man, they deserve an upgrade. I'll fix their bar.
Last night, my crew got assaulted.
Alright, and that's going to do it for this video on Bar Rescue. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out, Girl Scouts.